My dudes, my guys, my freaking boys. I had a crazy week this week. It's a week before Christmas. I'm sure everybody has a crazy week this week. I didn't really have any time to make any video, so I'm just gonna throw this together really quick. I've been wanting to do something like this for a while, but let's just get into it, I guess. So this is my opinion on stance cars and why they're dying. It's really unfortunate. I'm not gonna say that stance cars got me into cars, but I mean, stance cars are probably the reason why I am where I am today. I know that's crazy. A lot of people are gonna be like, oh, they're stance cars. Stance cars are stupid, blah, 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 blah. But to me, stance cars are the modern day hot rodding, okay? You know, you can go ahead and build an 8-second LS car and just go on Summit and buy everything you need and just bolt it together. It works, you know? You're gonna need some welding. You're gonna need some stuff like that. I get it. You're gonna need some custom stuff. But when it comes to the stance car stuff, people don't make stuff for it, and that's like the big issue. That's why I liked it so much, because it involved a lot of creativity, a lot of like innovating. There's just a whole bunch of stuff that over the years progressed to where we are now, which I think is really cool. So why I think these things are dying is people are just doing it for the clout now. It's not about, you know, I want to build a low car, I want to take my time, I want to learn. It got away from that and got more into, I want X amount of followers on Instagram. For what? It doesn't matter, you know? It got more into that, and that's kind of what drove me, I want to say, away from it. I mean, I'll never not like stance cars. I'll never not want to have a car that's on the ground dragging the floorboards out of it. But it's kind of what's pushed me away from it a little bit. Just the scene's not as cool as it used to be. But, I mean, like, back in the day, you know, when I got into the stance car stuff in, is probably about 2012 or so, you know, the mini truck stuff did play a big part. The mini truck guys, I'm sure there's gonna be mini truck people that comment like, we did it first. We know you did it first, all right? We're talking about like Civics, okay? You know, there's a car group called Real Low. I still follow a bunch of them on Instagram. They're all grown up. They don't really do car stuff anymore. But the Real Low guys really pushed me, because I never knew what like stance was. It never had a name. It was just, you know, we'd be on forums, because back in the day we were on forums. We'd be on the forums and we'd be like, how do you make my car lower? You know, trying to look up stuff to how to make your car. Everybody wanted to try to, not everybody, but a group of people wanted to get their cars as low as they physically could. And back in the day, you know, we didn't have the answers, you know. There was people, you know, cutting stock springs and stuff like that, which, you know, not the right way to do it, but trying to, you know, move it forward, trying to figure stuff out. So these Real Low guys were on point. They all had really low cars. They were pretty decently built. And then, you know, things progressed after that. I was lucky enough, I got into a car club called Cam Burglars, which was really cool. My buddy Doug from New York had that group, so I got lucky enough to get into that, and that was pretty cool. It was just cool being around a lot of like-minded people that wanted to do this stuff. So, you know, my buddy Tyler, Static Guru, he's from Colorado. My buddy Mike, his name on Instagram at the time was Never High. He's from New York. There's Frame Bang Gang. He's from New York. Kevin, you know, there's all these people that were trying to push stuff to get lower. Mike had a crazy Miata on the ground, super sick. Me and Kevin always bounced ideas off each other, like how, you know, how can we get this to go lower? How can we get this to go lower? And we figured out that, you know, we got to a point where we were like, okay, you know, we had coilovers on our cars, we were maxing these things out, and then the upper control arms would hit the body. So we're like, okay, how do we fix that? Oh, we'll just cut the strut towers out, and now the upper control arms are sticking. So, you know, your strut towers like this, your upper control arms sticking up in your engine bay. Crazy, right? So, you know, we did that to get lower, and we were always low. And eventually one day we were like, I mean, should we just cut the spindles? This is after we had already cut the forks and stuff like that. So me and him cut the spindles, and like, I'm sure there's other people that did it. Don't get me wrong. I don't know everything, but to my knowledge, me and Tyler are probably some of the first handful of people to build spindles. I know that for sure. When I got my first oil pan built, Mike from New York built my oil pan for me. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. I had broken, I think, 8 oil pans or something like that before I did that. But anyway, so we figured out, you know, we could get the cars lower, and then after you have spindles on your car, you can literally set it on the ground and make it not move. But to us, that was kind of like, you know, what's the point? If you can't drive the car, what's the point of it? And nowadays with the new Instagram stuff, it's like, or new Instagram stuff, the new stance car stuff, Instagram stuff, is all these dudes are building these cars, and you know, you see them, if you really look at their pictures, they're not leaving their neighborhoods. And if they are, I'm sure they're going like a block down the street and parking at a gas station and getting a picture. None of these dudes are actually driving their cars, and that's where it gave the stance car stuff kind of an unrealistic expectation. You know what I mean? I guess it's more about static stuff than air stuff, but you know, the static stuff, everybody wants a cool, not everybody, there's a certain group of people that want a cool static car, right? So, but with that stuff, you're giving people unrealistic expectations of a car. You know what I mean? You still want to be able to drive it. Like, it's cool. Like, I mean, I could rip road reflectors out of the ground of my wagon. That was the most fun. It was a blast. You know what I mean? You know, you're not super dangerous. You're not really like, you're not going to hurt anybody. You're normally driving under the speed limit because, you know, if something's in the road, you're blasting it, you're going to break stuff, you're going to break a lip, break a bumper, et cetera, et cetera. So, like, I mean, it was cool and all that, but I don't know. But the issue with it is that all these cars on Instagram, they're putting these things on the ground, which is easy. It's not hard to do. It's really not. It's really not difficult to do, to put a car and put it directly on the ground. And, you know, like, I could sit in here on flat concrete and not my car not move. I've done it. I've literally had the car on the ground and not able to move it because it's so low on the ground. But what's the point? Yeah, you look cool in pictures. Congrats. You can't drive your car. So I think a lot of the thing why the scene's dying is, you know, all these people are getting all this Instagram clout and stuff are giving unrealistic expectations of a static car. You know what I mean? It's fine. Like, I could rest a dime on my pinch welds, and that was almost undrivable, I would say. A lot of people are probably going to be like, oh, hey, my car's so much lower. Cool, bro, cool. But it's almost undrivable like that. Like, I didn't want to go, okay, let me go drive into DC. Absolutely not. I'm not. So, like, there's stuff like that is why I think it's dying. The other thing I think is dying is, you know, a lot of stuff now is copy-paste builds. You know, everybody shares the same wheel spec. I want big camber. I want this. I want that. But the thing you got to realize, you never see any of these cars at the car shows. You know what I mean? Some you see at car meets and stuff like that, but they're normally clapped out. They're normally trash builds. A lot now, like a lot of the cars a lot of people look up to static-wise are all in like washers and stuff like that. And like, bro, that's not cool, dog. Like, that's really not cool. Like, I don't know. It's gone downhill a lot. I miss when, you know, people actually built cars to drive, and they built cars that were like functionably low. When I say functionally low, you're not rally racing it, clearly, but like, you could drive it, you go from point A to point B and not have to worry about anything. Like, we started raising the motors in the cars, you know, we've done all this stuff, tucking the exhaust up, running fuel cells, you know what I mean? These are basically purpose-built cars. I'm not gonna say they're race cars, because they're not. You don't race them, but they're purpose-built to do what they do. And I just think that the reason that the scene's dying, I'm gonna keep repeating myself, I'm sure, but I think it's just a lot of people have unrealistic expectations of what a static car is and what a static car should be. So, like, you know, a lot of people think they're really low and they're not low, and that's an issue, but I don't know, man. It's not a good look, for real. There's too many dumb people are getting too much attention, and then everybody sees the attention that they're getting, and they want to get that much attention and all this. And I also think that's like a part of like the whole like banger scene type of things, is everybody's just fiending for attention, and it's kind of stupid. I feel like a lot of people in the car scene, especially the younger people now, aren't doing it because they like it. They're doing it because of the attention they get, and that's not a reason to do this. It's not a good reason to do this. Those people will be in and out of the scene in a few years. This banger stuff won't last. So, I mean, that's kind of my stuff on it. Let me know what you guys think. I probably went on 1,000 tangents. I'm not good at just talking normal like this. But let me know what you guys think. I really think that the reason it's dying, like I said, is unrealistic expectations of cars, and too many people are doing it for the clout and not because they want to innovate something or build something actually nice. A lot of these static cars are just huge buckets, super trash cars. Not saying they are going to be perfect. Clearly they're getting dragged on the ground, but it's gone downhill, man. And I'm not going to make a promise, but I promise that I will try to bring a nice static car back, a drivable, functioning static car back. I just got rid of my wagon earlier this year, and I'm working on something else currently. I just haven't posted too much about it. So yeah, appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching this. This is a real quick video. Like I said, I didn't have anything, so hopefully next week we'll have something a little bit better. And the following week we're gonna have an absolute banger of a video. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see y'all later.